My dear community, welcome to my channel. My name is Wei-Jen, and I help people to attract their desired lifestyle and love by expanding their awareness, self-love, and energy vibration. Before I start, I want to give you a heads up that you probably will hear some dogs barking in the background. So if that happens during my recording and you hear that, please forgive me. Okay, so today the topic is that, before I share today's topic with you guys, I want to ask you this question. Have you ever seen, or maybe you know somebody in your life or seen people you don't know that generally, just from the outside, on the surface level, they seem like they always get what they want. Yet at the same time, they are not working so hard or putting so much effort or even overput their effort. But they just seems like they get what they want. And what they want is many people they want. And this could be, career or very happy, loving, delicious, juicy relationship or other material things, so on and so forth. Have you seen that? Because I've seen that a lot, people who I know or I don't know. So this topic that I want to introduce you today is that when we decided to detach with love, we generally, organic and naturally, we increase our energy vibration, and then also we get to maintain that high energy vibration in order to attract our desired lifestyle and love. So I have a couple examples that happened to me recently. So for those of you may not know, I also have my other job, which is a performer. And most of the time I perform in front of the camera. And this job, as a performer, requires me to go to so many different types of auditions and interview. And, some people, they even may see it as a competition, right? And a funny thing that happened around 2 weeks ago. So I went to this audition, okay? I don't know how many people were auditioning for this project, but there's only this one leading role, okay? They want somebody to fit into this one role. And if you imagined, I imagine there could be, more than 10 people were auditioning for this job, for this role, since it's a well-paid. It is something that I have always been involved myself into this part of my career as a performer. I don't do it from a place of desperation that I need to have fame. I need to have a lot of fans, or I need to have a lot of likes from my audience. I do this job. I've been doing this job for almost 10 years as a performer. And I do this job from a place of love, joy, and passion. And that's why, number one, I can still be able to find my joy, love, and happiness from doing what I'm doing today. And that also includes recording this video and then share my experience, strength, and hope with you guys. So it's the same concept with my other career, being a performer, is that I do what I love. And I don't do it from a place of getting famous or getting lots of money or become an A-list, movie stars. Nothing like that. So I really don't care about, how many people like me or what other people think or feel about my performance. If the feedback is, legit, that will help me to improve for my future performance. Yes, then I'm open, I'm willing to listen and to take the advice and make some adjustments. But if it's a very judgmental feedback, then I usually don't, put so much attention on that. Okay, so coming back to this experience that happened to me around 2 weeks ago, I went on an audition for this role, and guess what? I got this role. Okay, so I got this role, and then I know I am the only lead on this project. So I traveled, to two different places for this project, two completely different film sets in the different cities. And I remember this crew or this, environment, the city, none of that I've known anything about it. What I only know is my role description, that I'm playing this role, and then this character, her personality is XYZ. That is the only thing that I know. But regarding like people who was I about to work with, or the places that I was going to stay, or the places that I was about to do the filming, nothing like that I knew anything of it. So I only know the character's description. That's the only thing that I know. The second thing is that I know that confirmed, guaranteed that I was casted by this for this project. Those are the two things that I know. And so when I get cast, guess what? I thought I should have, have a sense of security and peace, right? Because now I know that I got cast. What else can I worry about of this project? And I did feel that, a sense of security, and then not having any concern whatsoever, right? Because I know that was going to happen unless there is any unavoidant, natural disaster, things like that is outside of my control. Then I can worry about it later on when it happens. So I carry this peace of mind and this confidence and this security when on the set. And then guess what? When I got on the set, there is another part of me naturally that I started to wanted to get to know people, where they come from, how was their drive to the set, the greeting, the small talk, just being polite and being open and being positive, right? Because I don't want to be also completely like isolate myself and then not talking to other people, and then appear myself as I am this arrogant or entitled or self-centered or knowing better than the rest of the people on set. No, that's also not me as well. I generally like to socialize with other people and having care and being considerate with my surrounding. Okay, so after I had this small talk, and then after some time, I noticed that my inclination went to this place where I wanted to start to please people, just to make sure that the people are happy and then they were getting what they needed. Even, there was some stuff that were outside of this project, right? That will include, I'm going to grab a drink. I'm going to Starbucks to get a coffee. Do you guys need anything? Or does anybody need a ride? Anything like that, right? And that might be, for some people, that might be okay, that might be authentic. But I just noticed that myself, when I ask, if anybody needs some drinks because I'm going to get a coffee, or anybody needs a ride, I ask from a place of being a people pleaser. We can ask the same questions or address the same issues or make the same request from a completely different, from many various different intention. So that is something that I noticed about myself, and I asked myself, why do I have that inclination, or why do I have that intention when I made this, such generous, loving, kind ask? And so I dive into deeper to to make a closer examination, the beneath of being a people pleaser. Why did I ask those questions or make such offers from a place of being a people pleaser? And just reminds me, because I used to have this old belief that I am not good enough. And in this contact, number one, I've already got a role. Number two, people will have to do their job to make me look good in front of the camera, because this is a team collaboration work. This is not a individual one-on-one private, isolating work, right? So this is a teamwork. And so I needed to feel the confidence within me, the sense of secure within me, and not worry about outside of my job, because we all have our own spiritual self and spiritual guide. And then, trust that they will be taken care of by their spiritual self and spiritual guide, and also their higher power or their wisdom. So I just learned that, okay, Wei-Jen, you've already got the role, you should have a peace of mind, and you should feel, sense of secure and confident. And then now you're on set, and it's nice that you take care, you care, you have care for people, but it's kind of started to slowly crawl back to that old self where I started to be a little bit people pleaser, because this old belief that I'm not good enough and I'm not likable, I'm not lovable or loving. So therefore, I needed to have some sense of validation, approval, or from other people, so I could feel a little bit better about myself. You see how that link it together, that our old belief, our old self can be just that easily creeping into any moment if we are not very aware of that. So what do I do at that moment when I notice that? Well, there are a couple ways that I could practice at that moment without doing too much, woo ha he, ritual things like that, because of the content, right? Because I was at work. So what I practiced at that moment is, number one, have this awareness, acknowledging myself that, okay, that old Wei-Jen is still craving somebody to love her and somebody to give her approval, validation, attention, affection, and love. And so therefore, I'm not going to beat herself up, internally, and by telling her, you gotta suck it up, you have to do X, Y, Z, like a robot. I don't care how you feel right now. No, nothing like that. I would have guided my inner self or my old self to do the things that she doesn't want to do. Instead, because I understand where she comes from, therefore I have more compassion and love for her. So once I am aware, okay, I'm coming from this place of desperation, people pleaser or caretaker, right? Or I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable or likable, then I generate more compassion, love, and forgiveness to this old self. And then also acknowledge and then tell her that I'm here with you. You are not being abandoned. You are loved and lovable. So, I think this is a very interesting thing to look at it, is that I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. I'm pretty sure there are so many people out there. We tend to think that, okay, once I do XYZ, then I will have or I will get XYZ that I want. Then once I get XYZ that I want, then I will feel XYZ. I will feel loved, I will feel happy, I will feel fulfilling, I will feel safe. You see? In this content, I've already got my role. I worked so hard to get the audition, right? Then I got the role. And then I thought before, my mind tricks me. I thought that I would feel secure, I will feel peaceful, I will feel confident, I will feel happy because I got the role. Is that true? I don't I don't think that is completely true. I think once I get the role, then okay, I will feel a little bit, I will feel a short a period of time of being content, happy, and secure. Then my mind and my ego started to trick me that I want some more. I want more. I want to be likable. I want to, get to know everybody so I feel that I'm in control. When I'm in control, when I make sure that everybody likes me, then I can feel safe. You see how that vicious cycle, that unhealthy pattern works in this scenario? So I hope that through this sharing, you can see how this all link it together and how this unhealthy patterns or off the balance patterns has been repeated over again in so many different places, small or big thing, in my life. And once we identify and we can recognize that, here are the few tips that I want to share with you guys how I practice to break this exhausting, unhealthy, and off balance pattern. Number one, it all starts with awareness. And awareness is something that we can practice through many different shapes or form. Number one thing that I usually practice every day in the morning is through meditation, because meditation helps me to take off those judgments, good or bad, like or dislike. If I cannot practicing meditation because I'm on set, because I'm working, interacting with other people, then I will take a deep breath and then I will practice breathing exercise just to focus on, my breathing while I'm listening or observing, what's going on in my environment. And then also feel the weight on my feet. If I am standing right now, I will also put my focus, my intention to feel the ground, the floor that I am standing, and feel that weight that on my knees, on my shoulder, on my legs as I am standing. Some people, they also do journaling. If you have time and then space, nobody bothers you, you can also do that exercise as well to help you to practice awareness. Now, second tips that I like to share with you guys is through making a gratitude list. And this one doesn't have to always have to write it down if you don't have that space. If you're driving, right? How are you going to write your gratitude list? So what I would do is that if I'm driving, if I'm working, I will make my gratitude list internally. Sometimes I will even name it out loud. Let's say if I'm driving, then I will name 3 things that I appreciate about myself. This can be, I appreciate my health, I appreciate my wisdom, I appreciate my experience, because those are the things that got me to who I am today and where I am today. And another 3 things that I am feeling grateful for today. This can be, I am grateful for we got this nice, beautiful weather in California, or I am grateful that I get to stand here recording this video to share with you guys. And I'm so grateful that you guys, get to spend this time to watch my video. Okay, so those are the 2 tips. Now, the third tip that I would advise or I would share with you guys to practice detachment with love is to set a boundary. And this does not necessarily have to be set up the boundary with other people. This sometimes requires us to set up the boundary within us. Because when you are able to respect the boundary you set up for yourself for good, and you're able to manage, to control, and to follow that boundary that you set for yourself, then you naturally and eventually develop this good muscle, to respect the boundary and be able to follow the boundary with another human being. And sometimes, when we set up the boundary with other people, with ourselves, that also teaches us that there are things we can control and we can do. And there are other things that are not our responsibility and we can't control and we can't force, manipulate, or, we can't do. Right? So setting up the boundary is very crucial when it comes to detachment with love. Now, also the other thing that I will share with you guys, a tip to practice detachment with love, is always do your best without expecting any outcome. So going back to this experience that I shared with you guys, I think that, I love myself enough to know and to say that I did my best in the audition, regardless how other people think that my audition is good or bad or could have been better, I leave that in that room. I don't take it, I don't take it out from that room with me once my audition is done. It is done, right? And so other people, how they think about my audition is not my business. Okay, so that leads to the next tip that I want to share with you guys to practice detachment with love is stay present. Once it's done, it's done. My job is done. My job right now at this moment is to be present, right? Once I did my best and I am aware that I did my best, I am aware I'm in a new, different moment right now. My job is being present. I'm being present, giving you guys my undivided attention to share with you my experience and to sending out this message just from today that I want to send out to you guys. So I hope that, this experience brings you some insight and different perspective. How can we detach with love? Now, additional insight that I want to share here, last thing, is that yes, we have a choice and a power to control ourselves, to choose detach with love, right? So we are not become so emotional and we don't give our power away to our emotion or our circumstances that we cannot control, or other people, how they think or feel about us. We don't give our power away to let outside of circumstances or environment to control us. That is how we own the self-empowerment. We own our crow. And this is our essence, because we are the essence already, regardless the reality. Regardless if I get the part or not, right? So, owning this self-empowerment is to be able to control ourselves in a manageable way. I'm not saying like forcing yourself that you cannot feel sad, you cannot feel angry, we all have that part. But it's a matter of how we manage them in a very manageable way, right? So detachment with love requires self-empowerment, requires mindfulness, requires self-love, setting up the boundary, right? The other thing is that because we can choose to detach with love instead of trying to control, manipulate to the outcome that we want, right? That means that we also have we also get to choose, and we have the power to choose to grieve with love. Sometimes there is just some circumstance that is outside of our control. And yeah, unfortunate, we don't get what we want. Can we grieve? Can we feel sad, angry, upset, depressed, disappointed? Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Because that's what makes life to become so colorful and beautiful, because of this complexion. But how are we going to grieve? Are we grieving with angry, with resentment, with rigid, and let those resentment, rigid, and grudge that we're holding into the next moment, into the next, career phase, into the next new relationship with new person. No. We can choose to grieve with love, compassion, and the forgiveness. So that's all I want to share with you today. I hope you find this video is very insightful. If you do, feel free to leave the like button or share with me what you think about today's video. If you have any extra additional insight or valuable, feedback, feel free to share with me by leaving in the comment down this, video, and also share this video with other friends, because you never know, there are so many people that are outside there trying to figure out, to sort things out in their personal transformation journey. Now, last thing, if you want to dive deeper into your personal transformation, feel free to even also book a 30 minutes discovery call coaching session with me to find out whether or not working with me is a right fit for you. Thank you so much for spending your time watching my video. I feel so grateful, and you know what? I'm going to practice this. I'm going to practice detachment with love for this video, because if it's a good feedback, I will thank you and I will take it into, my next video's consideration. If it's a judgment feedback, good or bad, or especially if it's like a judgment, comment, that will be a good exercise for me to practice detachment with love. Thank you again, and I wish you have a fabulous day. Namaste.